Hi everyone, welcome back to How Do I Comic Book, and today's lesson 1 with Brainstorms and Art Blocks. And art blocks happen to everybody, and everybody has a different way of coping with it. Some people do other sorts of mediums to kind of get their brain out of their current mode, and some people try doing mundane tasks such as housework, running errands, and usually they come back later and they feel a little bit more refreshed. And also another thing is that about art blocks, we sometimes get ideas that come to us out of the blue, and it seems like we are so energized and re-inspired, and then you don't write it down, you can't go back to it. So definitely write it down, even at the moment you're too busy or you don't feel ready to tackle the idea. At least it's something you can refer back to. And this comic strip actually is a good depiction of how getting over an art block works. And if you can't read this, we'll go ahead and read this out for you. When you have an art block, can't even hold a pencil, get up, go to your table, take a pencil, give yourself a boost, stretch, and draw. Just start, get going, so that you don't want to stop. Now, I follow a lot of artists on Tumblr and DeviantArt, and some of the common questions they are asked, even professional ones, they're asked, where do you get your inspiration from? Where do your ideas come from? And back in high school, there used to be this site that had a big generator site where you can get plots, names, character descriptions, and that's called seventhsanctum.com. And every once in a while, I'll still go back to it. It's a very reliable site, and some great ideas, random ideas come from that place. It's by far, that I know of, is one of the oldest generator sites. But since my time in high school, there has been tons and thousands of generators out there. It's listed below on this list. All you have to do is just Google story generator, and you'll find thousands upon thousands of different story generators you can pick and choose from. But a lot of people, a lot of the answers from the artists, they would say the first thing is a certain artist that inspired them, and probably it's the style, probably it's the technique, but usually they draw from other artists to kind of help inspire their work. But other than that, there's also current events in life, in the world, and a lot of people draw inspiration from fandoms that they're into, literature, television, art, movies, anything like that. And inspiration really, it's an internal feeling that kind of makes you want to write or want to draw or paint or sing or create something, and that you just can't stop. And that's kind of the feeling of inspiration. And once we have an idea, once we are inspired and we have this great idea we want to develop, brainstorming is the next step. There are all different types of brainstorming. You can write it down like this bubble chart here and kind of attach related themes and see how they connect and formulate in its entirety. Or at least just get a general idea. And then there's another method of talking out your ideas with friends or people that you trust. Bouncing around ideas with another person allows the person that you're consulting with to ask questions about certain things you wouldn't really take notice to, and then forces you to give out answers and how to go about explaining certain aspects about the theme. And next thing you know, you actually have a bunch of ideas. Some formatting is kind of resolved from this, and you don't need to have 50 people to tell you about to kind of talk to. You just need 1 or 2 people that you really trust and that know your work to really give you honest feedback. And here's just examples of my thought process when I was writing a script for a class. Basically, I wrote down just little ideas, and I would move over to another idea, then I would create charts, and maybe draw some images to kind of like get the scene out of my head. And next thing you know, I have 4 pages of suggested scenes and dialogue. But it doesn't necessarily have to be this extensive, but it's how my brain works. Another thing to do to brainstorm and keep your mind from going a little stale is to bring a sketchbook and a notebook everywhere you go. That's why they have travel size notebooks and sketchbooks in hand. And you never know when an idea will hit you. So having something like a sketchbook or a notebook at the time will give you access to write down your idea. And when we think of sketches, it's more like picture thinking, as Art Spiegelman would describe it. It allows your brain to kind of sketch out the concept, and then you start to refine it as you go. And same thing with notebooks as well. Maybe you got like a dialogue you want to keep, or you hear a dialogue you want to definitely use in your project, then definitely a notebook is a good place to put it. And creating a special place for you and your muses is also kind of crucial. Having a place where you are free to feel less distracted, you feel focused, is a great place to put work into your projects. Some people like working in a public place like cafes, or some people like to work in secluded areas like a specialized office, a library, or something like that. But wherever it is, definitely find a place for you and your muses to have a place of your own. And setting up a schedule, I found, was kind of very important. Setting some time dedicated to just your creative process allows you to really let your ideas stay focused. And it doesn't have to be a 4-hour session unless you want it to. It can just be about 15 minutes to an hour, as if you were spending scheduling time with a friend or a party or some time with your family. So dedicating time to your creative process is also key to kind of keeping focus to your project. And that way you feel like you're being progressive. And of course, our world is full of distractions, especially with social media being prominent, and there's advertisement reaching for our attention constantly. It's very easy to get distracted. In my case, Tumblr is my vortex of distraction, and I would just go on there mindlessly, and then I would find out I was there for 2 hours when I could have been writing or I could have been drawing, and then I feel kind of guilty. But as much as it pains us to kind of like log out of these social medias, it is sometimes best to do so. If it will keep you focused, and that'll be the best method to do. But for now, this will conclude the first lesson. This is very short. And in the second lesson, I'm going to go over more of the concept of the formatting of scripts, and also some alternative methods as well that I use, including the main project of this class. And I will look forward to hearing from you guys and seeing what ideas you have. And I will see you in the next video. Bye now.